If it's Monday night, it is the Wrestling Forum. Hello, friends. It is Riddick Castillo, Anthony Floyo sitting in once again for the Hardcore Python, Derek Pereira, as he continues his leave of absence from the show to focus on his sports blog commitments, which is really taking off. And we're very happy for him. We don't know where the Cerebral Paper Michael Fletch is. He said he was going to be a few minutes, but it's been a lot more than a few minutes. Not sure where he is. I don't know if I don't know if it's an emergency or if he's having difficulties on his end beyond his control. I'm not sure what's going on, but we're hoping that we have him here on the forum before the end of the show. So we're going to catch him up on what he missed as soon as he comes in, or if he comes in. We're hoping for it. So keep him in your prayers, folks. That's all I can say about that. Hopefully we can get him in here soon enough. As it is, we had to wait a long time, and Bullock and I just decided that we were just gonna, start it here and now, or else because if we kept doing what we were doing right now, we'd probably be up all night, and we can't have that. So we'll just catch Fletch up when he comes in. So and this is surprising because normally it's usually Michael Bullock that's usually running casually late, but this time around it's Fletch on this time around. So, but it is what it is. We all have lives outside of YouTube and all that. So that's probably one of the reasons why. So, but we're hopeful that he'll be here soon enough. So we do apologize for the late start. That's why we're starting late, because we're waiting for Michael Fletcher to join us. So hopefully he will join us at some point. So, but nonetheless, I'm here along with my partner in crime in the Yes Movement, our resident phenom, Michael Bullock here. It's been a long night for us, to say the very least.
Oh, Florio, I just got breaking news from Fletch. I just messaged him, and he is out for tonight.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I should have had an inkling about that, but definitely appreciate the update there, Bullock. I'm glad you got on top of that. So, per Michael Bullock, the Cerebral Viper, Michael Fletcher, will not be joining us for this edition of the Wrestling Forum. It's a shame, but I don't know if it's work commitments or if he's having issues, but hopefully we'll find out soon enough. We're also hoping to have him on Friday night for Strictly Sports. We do have a docket. Derek Pereira posted the docket a little bit ago. I will share that at the end of the show. So with that said, the Yes Movement runs the show one more time. So hey, we're down with that. We'll take it. So that said, let's dive right in to this edition of Monday Night Raw. It was live tonight from the Chesapeake Arena in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, the home of the NBA's Oklahoma City Thunder. And for the first time in quite a while, we started it off with what we call a treat. Treat, yeah. The Authority, Triple H, Stephanie McMahon, and the WWE World Heavyweight Champion Seth Rollins. They started in the ring. They cut but this is one time where we're actually going to be okay with it. I mean, that when I say treat, that's how we normally do it. We here at the Yes Movement, but this is one time where we actually embraced it, because they pretty much at the start they pretty much had a docket of their own, if you will. They ran down the docket for Monday Night Raw, and they said that the theme of this show tonight was going to be first time ever. They announced several major, huge matchups. And we're going to get into all of them, obviously, including matches such as Dean Ambrose going up against The Big Show, and Paige going up against the NXT Women's Champion Sasha Banks, and Randy Orton going up against Kevin Owens, and a second Divas bout, a tag team match with Charlotte and Becky Lynch going up against the Divas Champion Nikki Bella and Alicia Fox. And Seth Rollins, doing his smarky heel routine, and he's like, "Well, I'm going to leave it up to you, and I'm going to have you guys vote me as the greatest champion of all time." And then John Cena comes down and says, "You're a joke." And he's like, "I didn't come out." And he's like, "Triple H, Stephanie, I didn't come out here to interrupt you. I came out to interrupt you, Rollins." And that's basically what it was. The Authority setting the docket for the next Raw, Rollins running his mouth, and then John Cena, cutting one of his serious promos like he always does. He says, was, I want a shot at Seth Rollins in the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. And then Stephanie said, hey, crowd, what do you think? Do you want to see John Cena against Seth Rollins for the title here tonight? And oh yeah, everybody and their mother was out there doing the yes chant like they always do. And Stephanie's like, well, no, that's not going to happen. He's like, I agree with Steph. You have to earn it, Cena. You got to earn your shot. And Triple H's like, you know what? Let's do it anyway. Let's have John Cena go up one-on-one with Seth Rollins. However, John, your United States Heavyweight Championship will be decided. And Seth Rollins' world title would not be on the line. So it gave an opportunity for Seth Rollins to walk out with 2 championship belts. Something that hasn't been done in a very long time. I mean, we talked about that briefly last week, and I missed a couple of names. I missed Bill Goldberg in WCW. And Bill Goldberg, when he beat Hulk Hogan, July 6th of '98 in the Georgia Dome, he became the WCW World Heavyweight Champion while holding the United States Heavyweight Championship. So he held 2 belts at the same time. And of course, Fletcher also mentioned last week about Booker T, the last episode of Monday Nitro, the very last episode of the Monday Nitro. Just like Goldberg, well, he took it off of Scott Steiner, but nonetheless, he won the World Heavyweight Championship and also held the United States Heavyweight Championship as well. So other moments. But nonetheless, though, I would say this was the second best segment of the night for my taste. I thought it was, I liked how Triple H and Steph, ran down the docket, made this show feel important. And then, of course, they also made the big announcement, even though it wasn't really a big announcement because for all of us internet geeks out there, or as Triple H once called us, dweebs, well, you may have known this from me. I did a little investigative reporting. Hey, Derek Ferrera is not the only one who can do investigative reporting. I've got an investigative reporting bug inside me, too. And came across a dirt sheet. I believe it was one late night, right around the weekend or so, that SummerSlam was not, but this year's SummerSlam was not going to be your basic 3-hour event. No. They were going to channel its inner WrestleMania. And guess what, folks? This is not a rumor. They confirmed it. They confirmed it all over the dirt sheets today. And then it came straight from the horse's mouth himself, Triple H, who, oh, by the way, celebrated his birthday today. He's now 46. So Triple H made it official for the first time in the well over 25-year, almost 30-year history of SummerSlam. SummerSlam 2015 on August the 23rd, the Barclays in Brooklyn. It ain't going to be no 3-hour extravaganza. Oh, no. It's going to be a 4-hour extravaganza. You heard it right. 4 hours. Just like WrestleMania. I strongly advise all of you to get plenty of sleep going into that August 23rd night because we're going to have 4 hours of action to get into. Oh, boy, howdy. Oh, my Lord in heaven. What else is there to say on that? Wow. But nonetheless, though, segment came off really good. Like I said, I love Triple H and Steph. I love how they, set the table, set the docket for the show. Rollins doing his smarky, cocky heel routine that continues to alienate a lot of people out there. It's what you love to hate. And then John Cena doing his, his usual routine, his usual serious Golden Boy, Mr. America routine, as I call it. But it came off really good. Everybody came off well. The crowd was into it. And that's pretty much it. So a lot came out of that. Some great matches they announced. Of course, the big announcement about a 4-hour SummerSlam this time around. And, Mr. Bullock and I doing our usual Raw chat tonight, and we made history. I mean, we went damn near the distance tonight, folks. Yes. But the only reason why we didn't go the distance is because I had to, get ready for this. So, yeah. But nonetheless, a very good segment. I would have called it the segment of the night, but I thought there was one segment that I actually thought was a little bit better than this one, to be honest. So, a lot to digest, but I thought all of it came off really, really good. So, say what you want about authority segments. You know, Michael Bullock and I don't usually, like those opening segments that are dominated by the authority running their mouths for like 20, 30 minutes at a time. But I thought this one was one of those rare times where we're actually going to be okay with it. One time it's actually necessary and acceptable. So that's all I can say on that. So well done. Very good. But one segment was better. So with that said, Michael Bullock, let's get your thoughts on this opening segment, and of course the big announcement about SummerSlam being a 4-hour event for the first time ever in almost 30 years of it.
All right. Thank you very much, Ridiculously Over Anthony Florio. Yes, this is the Phenom Mike Bullock here for another edition of the Wrestling Forum. Delighted to be here as always. Yeah, I do agree that. I mean, of course, I knew that this was going to start off the show. Of course, with the usual the docket that they do on the USA Network before Monday Night Raw goes on the air. Yeah, the Authority starting it off and basically making the big announcement that SummerSlam is definitely gonna. It's now confirmed it's going to be a 4-hour event for the first time ever in the long history of SummerSlam. It's gonna be 4 hours, and all I can say is it has the potential of maybe being one of the best, if not the best, SummerSlam of all time. I mean, we only have one match on the docket, but it's one everybody's talking about. Undertaker, Brock Lesnar, the rematch from WrestleMania 30 at SummerSlam. And I'll be quite honest with you about this. I mean, Florio knows about this, and I know he'll back me up on it. I think Taker or Lesnar is going to get a good amount of time when it comes to this. I would say somewhere between 30 to 35 minutes, and it's going to be way better than the match they had at WrestleMania 30. So, yeah, and who knows what other matches could be included, and we'll definitely talk about the possibility of some of the matches we're going to see for SummerSlam, that we could see for SummerSlam as we go about this recap of Monday Night Raw. But yeah, that's Seth Rollins. Of course, he's basically, of course, Triple H talking about. Well, first Triple H was talking about the night of first with the matches. Of course, with Randy Orton against Kevin Owens. Of course, you also have Paige and Sasha Banks going at it. Yeah, and some of the other matches they talked about. And Seth Rollins saying, we should let the people vote that I'm the greatest champion of all time. And then John Cena comes out, continues to say that he's a fraud, and that if the people want to see Cena against Rollins for the title tonight. And typical Authority stuff, when Stephanie's basically like, no. And then Triple H is like, you know what? We will see John Cena against Seth Rollins tonight, but it'll be for the United States Championship. So, yes, this was the second best segment of the night, and all I can say is I'm really looking forward to SummerSlam, especially this now being 4 hours, and of course, like I said in my prediction, Undertaker and Brock Lesnar, that's going to get about 30 to 35 minutes of action. So, really got nothing else to say except, Florio, let's move on to our first match of the night. And all I can say is SummerSlam, 4 weeks away, can't come fast enough.
Amen to that, Michael Bullock. You're absolutely right on that. I mean, this SummerSlam does indeed, and you said it, you hit the nail right on the head. This definitely has the potential to perhaps be the greatest SummerSlam of all time. It's certainly going to give 2002 a run for its money as the greatest SummerSlam of all time, an event that I personally rated a good 9, 9.25 to 9.5 out of 10. I mean, it was damn near perfect 10 that SummerSlam. I mean, everything from that was awesome. So it's definitely going to give that event in Long Island a run for its money, to say the very least. And with it being in Brooklyn, and I definitely agree about Taker and Lesnar. I mean, not only is it going to get 30 to 35 minutes, but I also think it's going to be a 5-star classic. I really believe it in my heart of hearts. So with that said, let's just move on to our first match of the night, which Mr. Bullock's going to lead off on. And I don't think he's going to mind this time around because it was the Lunatic Fringe, Dean Ambrose, going one-on-one with the Big Show. And the winner of the match via countout in 11 minutes and 20 seconds, it was the Big Show. So, Michael Bullock, your thoughts on this match, which we thought was we really didn't have high expectations going into this fight, but after what we saw, I would say definitely far more than exceeded them.
Yeah, when I first heard of this match, I really thought it really wasn't going to be all that good, especially when it comes to Big Show matches. But this turned out to be much better than what I expected, and I'm going to give this somewhere between 1.5 to 2 stars. Yes, even despite the count out finish, I could even go as high as to say maybe even 2.25 stars if I'm going to be quite honest here. So yeah, I mean, I thought the match was fine, and Dean Ambrose, I thought actually did good in this match. I mean, he carried the Big Show towards somewhat of a passable good match here. I mean, it wasn't anything special, but still, I thought it was good. But I mean, even though Big Show did win, well, Dean Ambrose basically, he got the last laugh with what happened. Of course, the Big Show running through that barricade, and so yeah, really got nothing else to say. I mean, I'll say 1.5 to 2, maybe even teetering on 2.25. So with that being said, Florio, I give it to you.
I'm going to pull the trigger. I'll give it between 2 to 2.25, maybe even teetering 2.5, really. I mean, but it's more like 2 to 2.25 stars, mainly for the
I'm going with that same rating, 2 to 2.25.
Yeah, 2 to 2.25. I would say probably the third or fourth best fight of the night. Certainly not the fight of the night by any means, no doubt about it. But I can honestly say it was the sleeper fight of the night. I mean, we really didn't have any high expectations going in because hello, it's a Big Show fight, but he was in there with a guy who could more than carry him, and that was Dean Ambrose. And Dean Ambrose certainly carried the fight here. And it ended up being a lot better than we initially expected. So I'll give him credit. I mean, it was a good match. And the count-out finish, though, now that I think about it, I mean, it was kind of necessary. They told a great story, with Ambrose, scratching and fighting, trying to find his way back in. There were a couple of occasions where he avoided the count-out like 2 or 3 times, and then Big Show, as Ambrose was going for a suicide dive, boom, WMD, and that was it. Knocked him out cold and just couldn't get there. So Big Show gets the count-out victory. So big win for Big Show. And then after the match, Big Show, Ambrose was basically gawking Big Show and saying, "Come on, big man, I'm not dead yet." And then he had him set up again in that little barricade area where Lillian Garcia, the ring announcer, and the timekeeper are usually hanging around. And Big Show was charging like Bald Bull and Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, for God's sakes, when he does his little finishing move. If you haven't seen that. Basically that, and then all of a sudden Ambrose moves out of the way and Big Show crashes through that barricade. Thankfully, Lillian Garcia, just got out of the way in time, or else she would have been squashed like a grape. Woman coming off of a knee surgery some time ago. No question about it. If she hadn't gotten out of the way, well, she definitely would have probably had to go in for another surgery, probably for a lot more than just a knee. But thankfully, she's A-okay. Everything's great. So, but nonetheless, though, 2 to 2.25 stars. I would have given it 2.5, but the count-out finish, we don't like count-out finishes, even though the count-out finish is kind of warranted here. But nonetheless, though, a more than solid effort from Ambrose and Big Show, a match that definitely far exceeded our expectations, no doubt about it. So, okay, we're just going to move on to our next matchup, which was the Dancing Fool Fandango going up against the man that gravity forgot, Adrian Neville, winner of the match in, don't blink, folks, 1 minute and 55 seconds. It was Adrian Neville. I'm just going to keep it short and sweet. This was an absolute dud. this was the worst fight of the night, far and away. Total waste of time. Yep, and there's Michael Bullock doing his vintage "I can't take it" face. I mean, I'm right there with you. That's what we usually do when there's a dud enhancement fight. Quick win, and all signs are seeming to point towards Adrian Neville going up against Stardust at SummerSlam. But now, I just came across a possible dirt sheet that there's a possibility that The Miz could get involved in this down the road, and also Stephen Amell. Now, if you don't know who Stephen Amell is, for all you Arrow geeks out there, which we know Michael Fletcher is a big Arrow geek, he's personally told me that. But nonetheless, all signs are seeming to point towards a possible tag team match with Stardust and The Miz teaming up against Adrian Neville and the star of Arrow, Stephen Amell, at SummerSlam. It would certainly help the Stardust character if the babyfaces didn't shake their head in a way that suggests they are rolling their eyes at his antics. If they're not taking them seriously, then why should the fans care about their feuds? So that's all there is to say about that. But nonetheless, though, this was an absolute dud. This was the worst fight of the night. And if they do this, it could be on the pre-show. But since there could be a celebrity involved here, that it could end up going to the main card. Now that I think about it, because you know how much they love that mainstream media attention. So we'll have to wait and see on it. You know, like I always say, read into it what you will, or as Derek would say, take it with a grain of salt. So that's certainly news to me. I mean, we all know the Stardust and Neville feud's been going on for a little bit. I still think Stardust should have been repackaged as Cody Rhodes. You know, a babyface Cody Rhodes. Since he was coming off, some time off, to recover from, the death of his father, the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, which, of course, like I always say, the shockwaves of that are still fresh in our minds. So yeah, that's pretty much all I can say. So absolute dud, worst fight of the night. So, Mr. Bullock, let's have your sentiments on it. I know you agree with me. Just put us out of our misery.
Yeah, dud, worst fight of the night. Yeah, you pretty much touched on everything on it, so I'm not gonna waste any more time on this crap fest. So let's just move on.
All right, and move on we will. Well, the luck of the draw bit me, but once again, the luck of the draw is going to benefit Michael Bullock one more time. And as I always like to ask, are you ready for some Hot Divas action? Well, I hope you all were, because we certainly got some in this one. We had Paige, accompanied by her teammates Charlotte and Becky Lynch, going one-on-one with the NXT Women's Champion Sasha Banks, accompanied by her teammates Naomi and Tamina Snuka. Winner of the match via submission in 13 minutes and 35 seconds, it was the boss. It was Sasha Banks. So, Michael Bullock, your thoughts on this outstanding Divas fight, which it really was?
Boy, this certainly was an outstanding Divas fight. I'm going to give this somewhere between 3 to 3.25 stars. I mean, this was a very good Divas match here. Yeah, the Diva Revolution continues here, and yeah, I mean, both ladies look really good here in this match. Even Paige in defeat, but of course, Paige tapping out to Sasha Banks's submission maneuver, and yeah, talk about a nice win for the current NXT Women's Champion Sasha Banks. But of course, we all know at some point she's going to drop the NXT Women's title, since she is now on the main roster, which, in my personal opinion, is probably going to happen at the next NXT Takeover special, which of course will be in Brooklyn the night before SummerSlam. And my opinion, I think she's probably going to drop it to Bayley. That's just my guess. Yeah, and of course. And of course, Paige, when it comes to her, we found out tonight that she's going to be a guest next week on the Stone Cold podcast on the WWE Network. So we'll see if the whole Divas Revolution thing gets brought up during the whole thing. So yeah, and of course, during this fight, you did see what happened during the commercial when the referee basically tossed both Becky and Charlotte and Naomi and Tamina out. So And of course, this is not the last you're going to hear of them. We'll talk about it when it comes to that Diva Tag Team match later on. But all in all, 3 to 3.25 stars, and I'll have to say this was the second best fight of the night, in my personal opinion. This, and all I can say is this Diva Revolution is so far living up to its expectations. And all I can say is keep it going. And yeah, they definitely kept it going later on in the night. We'll definitely get into that. So 3 to 3.25 stars. So Florio, I give it to you.
Right there with you, my man. You're absolutely correct on that. 3 to 3.25 stars. That is indeed the correct rating for this fight. It was the second best fight of the night. And what else is there to say except the days of ho-hum diva matches are far and away in the rearview mirror now, man. I'm telling you. I mean,
Well,
hashtag,
let's not jump the gun yet on that.
of course, but well, it continues. I mean, we've been spoiled by these incredibly good divas matches. I mean, where in the world has this been all this time? I mean, why couldn't we have had matches like this instead of all those ho hum diva fights that we had to put up with back in the for the last couple of years or so? But nonetheless, though, Paige and Sasha Banks, they put on a hell of a show tonight. They gave us some great action throughout the match. Everybody, the crowd was into it. We were into it. Referee Chad Patton ejecting Becky Lynch and Charlotte along with Tamina Snuka and Naomi. Good call. We got down to wrestling there. We had a straight up one-on-one match, which is how it should have been, to be honest with you. And that's exactly what we got. And a clean finish, a big win for Sasha Banks. Definitely her far and away her biggest win since she joined the main roster a couple of weeks ago. That memorable Diva segment, one of our segments of the year, by the way. So, and yes, as Michael Bullock alluded to, Paige will be the guest next Monday night following Raw for the Stone Cold podcast, a very highly popular Stone Cold podcast, which every show has been amazing, whether it was Vince McMahon or Triple H or Paul Heyman. I mean, all three of those shows were equally amazing. And I know Paige may not be as big as, McMagma or Triple H or Heyman, but I think Paige is gonna do what she does best. Kick butt and take some names. I know she'll do that well. And oh, by the way, Michael Bullock talks about the Divas Revolution. I expect that to come up a lot, to be honest with you. So that's all there is to say about it. So I'm definitely looking forward to seeing that podcast next Monday night, following Monday Night Raw. Although we'll be busy doing this, obviously. So well, don't worry. We'll see it soon enough. Trust me, we'll see it soon enough, and we'll give you our thoughts on that, separately. So, but nonetheless, though, 3 to 3.25 stars. This was the second best fight of the night. An amazing effort. I could probably say this was the Diva fight of the year, although they keep outperforming each and every week. They top it. They top their previous matches. I mean, this whole thing started at Battleground, and then it carried over to Raw, and then it carried over to SmackDown, and now it's carrying over here tonight to Raw. And of course, the big news. We'll save it. We'll save. There is the news about another big Diva fight coming up on SmackDown on Thursday night. We're going to get into that in a little bit, but nonetheless, though, 3 to 3.25 stars, second best fight of the night. Well done, ladies. And I'll also give you my scenario for what I think could be done with the Divas at SummerSlam. My scenario that Michael Bullock definitely agreed with. So yes. With that said, let's move on to our next segment. And once again, the luck of the draw bites me in there. But nonetheless, it was an in-ring segment. We had Rusev and Summer Rae interrupted by Lana. All right. I'll say it like this. It was a 50-50 segment for me. Was it the worst segment of the night? Yes, it was. Because, Rusev, gave Summer Rae a couple of gifts. First off, he gave her a little, this small little dog. And then another gift, a fish, and Rusev named the cold fish Lana. And then Lana comes out and said everyone sees through Rusev. And she said he dresses Summer like her and called Summer an unoriginal, pathetic Lana. And then Lana kicks Summer in the face. Off comes the heels and then the barefoot, and then she was barefoot, and then all of a sudden she locked in a little armbar type move, a little submission hold there, and then shoved Summer's face into the fish, and she left the ring smiling and waving to the fans, and Rusev threw the fish towards Lana walking backstage, and Rusev helped Summer to her feet, and then Summer Rae throws a temper tantrum, and yeah, but yeah, by default, it was the worst segment of the night. But I'll tell you what, though. I mean, Lana came off like a star here. She looked great. And nice. I mean, I didn't see that armbar coming. I mean, that was a nice little submission hold there. But, no, you might have been wondering where was Dolph Ziggler with all this. Dolph Ziggler is still out. Yeah, you may have remembered a few weeks ago on Monday Night Raw, Rusev basically, what I call Ricky the Dragon steamboated Dolph Ziggler, like what Macho Man did to Ricky the Dragon Steamboat all those years ago when he crushed his larynx and messed up his throat and whatnot. Just an injury angle because Dolph Ziggler is currently filming a WWE Films movie. And I did read a dirt sheet. I told Michael Bullock this during our chat tonight. I told him that during our chat that Dolph Ziggler should be back in time for the go home show for SummerSlam, and it will set up a long rumored one-on-one matchup between Dolph Ziggler and Rusev for SummerSlam. And I also heard that sometime in September, maybe Night of Champions or on TV, I don't know, that we should have a mixed tag match down the road with Dolph Ziggler and Lana teaming up against Rusev and Summer Rae. So I personally can't wait to see either one of those matches, to be honest with you. So, but yeah, the stuff with Rusev giving Lana the gifts there, I mean, I didn't mind the dog. I'm a dog lover, as is Mr. Bullock. And, cute dog. I will admit, it was a cute dog. I got a little excited when I saw that thing. It was a cute thing. The fish thing, that was a little too far. And headless fish, for God's sakes. I mean, but Lana came in. And to me, Lana was the star of the segment, honestly. Not just because of her mic work, but taking out Summer Rae there with the kick to the face and then that little armbar submission type move there that she put on there, and then shoving her face into that dirty fish there. So, yeah, the stuff that, like I said, that was. I mean, I didn't mind the dog, but the fish though, that was a little too much for me. But Lana came up like a star on this segment, to be honest. And so yeah, that's pretty much all I can say. So. Michael Bullock, I know you agree with my sentiments during this when we had our chat there. So why don't you enlighten our viewers out there? Your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I do agree. This was a 50-50 segment. The 50% of it was not good, but the thing is, the whole Summer Rae and Lana. I mean, we both enjoyed that, and. I do agree with Florio's sentiments. Of course, he did say to me that they're going to have Dolph Ziggler return for the go-home show of SummerSlam, and I think that's when we're going to get Ziggler versus Rusev at SummerSlam. So, and of course, there's no doubt about it that both ladies will be in the corner of that match. So. Yeah, so really got nothing more to say except Florio. Let's move on to our next match.
Yeah, and you're gonna start it off, and oh boy, here we go. Tag team action. It was the Lucha Dragons Kalisto and Sin Cara.
Lucha, 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 lucha.
Yep. It would have been better if Fletcher was here. But nonetheless, Lucha Dragons going up against the Los Matadores, Diego and Fernando, of course, with El Torito. Winners of the match in 8 minutes and 5 seconds. Lucha, lucha, lucha. The Luchas. The Lucha Dragons get the Duke. Like a bullet, your thoughts on this tag match?
Yeah, and again, this was another match that in the beginning I thought it was going to be I thought it was going to be nothing, wasn't going to be good at all. But again, this is another match that I thought was good, and I'll give it 2.5 stars. I mean, this was a fine tag team match for what it was. The only thing I didn't like was the New Day basically coming out during this, but really didn't hurt that much. But all in all, a nice win for the Lucha Dragons. And yeah, I mean, I do get this feeling, I mean, after seeing all 4 combatants in there, that we're probably going to get a fatal 4-way for the WWE Tag Team Championships at SummerSlam with the Primetime Players, the New Day, the Luchas, and the Los Matadores. So yeah, so fine little tag team match here, 2.5 stars, and definitely another one of the surprise fights of the night. So Florio, I give it to you.
Yeah, right there with you. 2.25 to 2.5 stars is my rating for the fight. Solid tag team matchup here. We had some good action throughout, and you thought when New Day came out, you thought that it was going to lead to another win for Los Matadores, like it did the week before against the Primetime Players. But nonetheless, the Luchas found a way to win a nice little sunset flip by Kalisto to get the fall there for the Luchas. And like Mr. Bullock said, I definitely agree with his sentiment. But then again, I'm the one who told him that. I feel it in my heart of hearts. I do agree with him. And I'll let the cat out of the bag one more time. I think at SummerSlam, we're going to get ourselves some sort of Fatal 4-Way match. Now, I don't know if it's going to be a one-fall Fatal 4-Way match or if it could be a Fatal 4-Way elimination match. But who knows? You know what? With this being a 4-hour event, maybe it could be an elimination-style Fatal 4-Way match. They certainly will have plenty of time to get that in there, no question about it. So I wouldn't mind an elimination style. In fact, I think that's how it should be, to be honest with you. But then again, considering what I have in store for the Divas, maybe a one-fall Fatal 4-Way may be the answer. I don't know, but I do expect a 4-Way. I think it's going to be the Primetime Players versus the New Day versus the Los Matadores and the Lucha Dragons. Fatal 4-Way matchup indeed for the WWE Tag Team Championship come SummerSlam. So that's just my thought on that. So it's a 2.25 to 2.5 star match. It's another one of the fights of the night for sure. I 100% agree. So with that said, let's move on. And at long last, the luck of the draw finally comes to me for a change here. In-ring segment, Bray Wyatt and Luke Harper coming out. And there's nothing left to say here, folks. This was the segment of the night, if I'm being honest with you. I really enjoyed this segment. I mean, Bray Wyatt, a damn good creepy promo here. It was a cryptic promo. It was a perfect cryptic promo. It was well done. I mean, and then Luke Harper even got some mic time here, and I thought he came off pretty good, even though he's nowhere near the caliber of Bray Wyatt. But I thought Harper actually came off. I thought he held his own pretty much during this promo segment. But Bray Wyatt, of course, one of the best promo guys in the business. Not the best. We all know who that is. That's Paul Heyman. But nonetheless, though, I mean, a very well done promo by Bray Wyatt. And, talking about lies, talking about how mommies and daddies and loving their children. And he said, hey, if your mommies and daddies love you, then they will tell you the truth. And he talked about lies and all this stuff. And, talking about Roman Reigns. They got to him eventually. And of course, Derek Ferrera, our man, our Imperial Grand Poobah there, he put out another one of his awesome sports blogs today, talking about how there could be a new addition to the Wyatt family. A very unlikely new addition, But then again, they need a new addition because their original third man, Eric Rowan, is currently out with an injury. So enter possibly Adam Rose, or they could have him go by his original name, Leo Kruger. Now that would be very interesting because remember, the rumor is at SummerSlam, Bray Wyatt, Luke Harper, and this possible new Wyatt family member, which could be Adam Rose, aka Leo Kruger, would be going up against the team of Roman Reigns, Dean Ambrose, and possibly the Stinger, Sting, which would be a very interesting six-man to say the very least, and another way to get SummerSlam over like Rover, which is already done, mainly because of course, Taker and Lesnar being the main event, and of course the big announcement today about it being a 4-hour event for the first time in the almost 30-year history of it. So yes, a very well done segment. It came off really, really good, and Bray Wyatt, that's one of the best promos he's cut in quite a while, and Luke Harper, hey, give it up for him. I thought he came off pretty good too. So yes, very well done to say the very least. It definitely sets up this match at SummerSlam very, very well. But then again, it could be just a regular tag match. It could be Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose going up against Bray Wyatt and Luke Harper, straight up 2-on-2. You never know. But the rumor is 6-man with possibly the new Adam Rose, Leo Kruger on the Wyatt side, and Sting with Reigns and Ambrose. So we'll see how it goes. But for right now, this was the segment of the night. This came off really well done. Very good work, Bray Wyatt. And hey, Luke Harper, good job, sir. Well done. So with that said, Michael Bullock, your thoughts on this very good segment?
Yes, this was definitely the segment of the night. Yeah, Bray Wyatt with a very good promo here. Of course, talking about lies and what the families and yeah, basically doing one of his very typical Bray Wyatt promos, and I thought he came out really strong in this whole segment, and even Luke Harper I thought did a really good job on the mic here. Basically, of course, talking about Roman Reigns. So yeah, I mean, I first read this on Derek's sports blog, and possibly having Adam Rose, or known as Leo Kruger, to join the Wyatt family and set up the 6-man tag team match potential for SummerSlam with the Wyatt family against Roman Reigns, Dean Ambrose, and the Stinger, the Vigilante Sting. So, and that would definitely get some more, and that'll definitely put some more butts in the seats and eyes on the screen and those network subscriptions, especially with the appearance of the Stinger at SummerSlam. So, yeah, because normally when you think of Sting at summertime, of course, back in the days of WCW, you would think of him being at Bash at the Beach, of course, the WCW's version of SummerSlam. So, yeah, to see Sting at SummerSlam, that would be something. But we'll have to wait and see how it all plays out as we continue on the road to SummerSlam. So, segment of the night, Florio, let's move on to our next match, which I'll talk about.
Yes, you will. And once again, I ask, are you ready for some Hot Divas action? Well, guess what? We got more of it. It was in the form of a tag team matchup. It was Becky Lynch and Charlotte going up against the Divas champion, Nikki Bella and Alicia Fox. And the winners of the match, again, via submission in an even 6 minutes, it was Becky Lynch and Charlotte. Becky Lynch making Alicia Fox tap out to her submission hold to disarm her. So, Michael Bullock, your thoughts on this second Divas match?
Not as good as the match we saw with Paige and Sasha Banks, but you know what? Even for the even 6 minutes that we got, I thought there was some good action here, and I'll give it somewhere between 2.5 stars as my rating for the fight. Yeah, I mean, I mean, what can you say? I mean, Charlotte, I mean, continues to show why she's probably one of the most, if not the most gifted athletic diva in the WWE today. And same can be said for Becky Lynch. So yeah, I mean, especially I love that arm bar finishing maneuver of Becky Lynch. And yeah, so definitely another good Divas match. Not as good as the one from what we saw with Paige and Sasha Banks, but in that 6 minutes we got, I thought it was pretty good. 2.5 stars. Florio, I give it to you.
Slight disagreement here, but not a whole lot. It's 2 to 2.25 stars, Mike. I think 2.5 is a little steep, to be honest with you, but you know what? 2 to 2.25 stars, though. I mean, I definitely agree with your sentiments there. I mean, it definitely was not as good as the Paige and Sasha fight was. I definitely agree with that because it got much less time. Unfortunately, it only got 6 minutes. But what we got though was very good in-ring action, solid work again, and this time around, Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch scores the winning fall with her disarmer, with her disarmer submission hold, and both diva fights ended in submission. You know, Sasha Banks beating Paige with her Banks statement, and Becky Lynch with her disarmer. So chalk one up for the fiery redhead from Ireland, and my girl, the beautiful blonde from Charlotte, North Carolina. My girl Charlotte, you know, and Michael Bullock, you know, always talks about Michael Bullock, you know, agreeing with my sentiments. You know, Charlotte has definitely gotten a lot of high praise from a lot of writers, you know, around the net, a lot of dirt sheet writers, and especially one guy who I'm a very big fan of his work, Richard Gray from WrestlingNewsWorld.com. Check out his site; it's a fantastic site. And they asked him a question last week, and he's even gone as far as, you know, to compare Charlotte to Ronda Rousey. I mean, which is a very high comparison to say the very least. I mean, considering what Ronda Rousey has done for the sport of MMA, and of course she's got a humongous title defense coming up on Saturday night in Brazil, which we're going to talk about Friday night on Strictly Sports. I'll have more on that, you know, when we get into the docket at the end of the show during future content setup. But nonetheless, though, I mean, it was a solid matchup, and you know, all four ladies worked hard. I kind of wish they would have gotten more time, but you know what? For the 6 minutes we got, you know, it was a very solid matchup. And the Paige, Becky Lynch, and Charlotte team definitely continuing to roll, even though they suffered their first setback with Paige, you know, tapping out to Sasha Banks in the Banks statement earlier in the night. But I'll tell you what, I said I had a possible scenario for SummerSlam. Well, I'll get into that in just a minute. I want to make sure I want to remind you folks that Thursday night on SmackDown, Becky Lynch is going to go one-on-one with the Divas champion, Nikki Bella. Well, yeah, that's definitely going to be a good matchup. I got a damn good feeling about that one. I think that's going to come off really good. I cannot wait until the spoilers come out around this time tomorrow night, and then we'll get into that. We'll see how it comes out. Hopefully whoever, you know, reports on the spoiler, whoever, you know, sends in the spoilers, I just hope he or she gives it a rave review. I got, like I said, I got a damn good feeling because the body of work that the Divas have put in over the last couple of weeks has been really, really good and well done. So it's a 2 to 2.25 star match. Hashtag Divas Revolution. Hashtag Give Divas a Chance. And my scenario for SummerSlam, I got all three factions: Team Paige, Team Bella, and Team Bad. All three of them, all three members of each faction, 3 versus 3 versus 3. Elimination style match. Simple as that. That's exactly what I think they're going to do with the Divas. So I don't know if I'll be right or if they have other plans for the Divas, but for my taste, I think it's going to be a 3 versus 3 versus 3 elimination matchup at SummerSlam. That's my guess. So, but nonetheless, Divas once again doing what they do best, kicking ass and taking names. So well done, ladies. Well done. Keep up the and we here at the Wrestling Forum say on behalf of all of us here, you know what we say? Keep up the continued great work. because that's all it's been. It's been nothing but great work. Let's keep it up. So, all right. I'm going to move on now to our next matchup. Another first-time matchup. It was the Viper, Randy Orton, going up against Kevin Owens. The match ends in Randy Orton wins the match via disqualification. Not as good as I was hoping. I mean, I thought for sure it was a possible fight of the night candidate, but not quite here. I'm going to give it a solid 2.5 stars for the effort, because there was some very good action throughout the match. And, of course, the disqualification finish, that never helps. Sheamus getting involved, attacking Randy Orton. And then, but wait, there's more. Enter the Swiss Superman, Cesaro. Cesaro comes out. He goes after Sheamus, but then he gets caught by Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens nails him with another pop-up powerbomb like he did on the last SmackDown. After Cesaro's, tough luck loss against the WWE World Heavyweight Champion Seth Rollins and what was a fantastic match on the last SmackDown. If you didn't see it, oh man, I'm still trying to recover from that fight. That was a damn good match, but nonetheless, though, Orton and Owens, even though it was solid for what it was, I can only give it 2.5 stars. Going in, I honestly thought it was going to be a 3.5 to 4 star at least, easy, given these two guys' bodies of work. It didn't get as much time as I thought, and of course, the DQ finish, like I said, never helps matters. When it comes to SummerSlam, I fully expect Cesaro to go one-on-one with Kevin Owens in what should be a fantastic matchup. And then, of course, I also expect another match with Randy Orton and Sheamus. And I'm not sure how this one will come out. I mean, the battleground fight came out really good because, you had a very pro-Orton crowd because it was in Orton's hometown of St. Louis. This time around, neutral site, which is the Barclays. So we'll have to wait and see. So add Orton and Sheamus to the card as well as Cesaro and Kevin Owens. So looking more forward to Cesaro and Owens, to be honest with you. Orton and Sheamus, well, I don't think it's going to be as good as the battleground fight. I'm just saying so. But we'll see. We'll see. You never know. But for now, this is a 2.5 star fight. Nothing left to say here except solid match and good for what it was. So, Michael Bullock, your thoughts on Randy Orton and Kevin Owens?
Yeah, going into this match, I mean, I was thinking this was going to be something really good. Like you said, maybe 3.5 to 4, but because of the DQ finish, I can only give it 2.5 stars as well. But somehow I knew this was gonna happen, especially when I saw that Sheamus was basically on commentary, that we're probably gonna have some kind of a cop out finish, and obviously that's what we got. But the match was fine for what it was. I mean, we had all that good action during the match, but Sheamus basically interfered with, and then enter the Swiss Superman, Cesaro, basically coming in, and well, afterwards he gets a nice pop-up powerbomb from Kevin Owens. So yeah, so I definitely agree with Anthony's Anthony Florio's sentiments. It's obviously going to be Cesaro against Kevin Owens at SummerSlam. That should be a really good match between these two men. And obviously, I also agree we're going to get another Randy Orton-Sheamus match at SummerSlam. And I do agree. I mean, it may not be as good as the match that we saw at Battleground, but you never know. We'll have to wait and see on that. But especially since now this is going to be a 4-hour SummerSlam, maybe they might give some of the matches more time. But we'll have to wait and see how that goes. So 2.5 stars. So that being said, Florio, let's move on to the next match, which I'll talk about.
Main event time, Michael Bullock. And
main event time.
And the luck of the draw, oh boy, it smiles on you once again. And boy, how is it smiling on you in a big way, man? Oh, the biggest way possible. United States Heavyweight Championship on the line. The champion, John Cena, defending against challenger and the WWE World Heavyweight Champion, Seth Rollins. Winner of the match via submission in an even 17 minutes, and still the United States Heavyweight Champion, John Cena. Michael Bullock, your thoughts on this incredible main event?
What can you say? Fight of the night right here. This was definitely the fight of the night. I'll give it somewhere between 3.5 to 4 stars. Even though I'm leaning more towards maybe 4 stars when it comes to this. I mean, a lot of Shakespearean drama, a lot of good action in this match, and there were times, I mean, I was basically thinking that maybe we could have a double champion here, but in the end, I think they did the right thing of having Cena go over, but I do get this feeling that and Florio and I even talked about this as well, we're going to get another match between these two at SummerSlam, but an actual title versus title match where both the WWE World Heavyweight Championship and the United States Heavyweight Championship would be on the line. And it would be the first time since, No Mercy of 2002 that it was title for title. Of course, back then it was Triple H's World Heavyweight Championship against Kane's Intercontinental Championship. And basically Triple H came out with that Intercontinental title. So, yeah, it would be the first time since then that we've had it. But the other big story here from this match, John Cena basically, he suffered a broken nose during the match. And, yeah, and since I do have a camera, I want to basically I want to show the picture. And, yeah, that's basically worth 1,000 words right there. And the nose is not supposed to be bent like that. So, yeah, so it was a very good match. 3.5 to 4 stars, although I'm leaning more towards 4. And this is definitely going to, like I said, it's going to be title for title at SummerSlam. And this could definitely be another top fight of the night candidate. Maybe, in my opinion, as maybe this will be the second best fight of the night. Of course, we all know what the fight of the night's going to be at SummerSlam. Taker and Lesnar, no doubt about it. So there's really nothing else for me to say except I'm just going to give it to Florio.
Again, we agree, Michael Bullock, 100%. Fight of the night, far and away, 3.5 to 4 stars. Definitely the rating, the correct rating for this match. I mean, talk about Shakespearean drama. This match had plenty of it. I mean, great near falls down the stretch. I mean, the crowd was into it. The announce team was into it. And JBL had a "this is not PG" moment where he referred to John Cena as a tough SOB, not once, but twice. Yeah. I got to give it up for my man JBL there. I mean, JBL was feeling it tonight. I mean, he was feeling it during that fight. I mean, obviously, the heat of the moment. Obviously, it was in the heat of the moment. He was very excited about the match, and of course, I know he has a lot of praise and a lot of respect for John Cena. I mean, and Michael Cole said it best: "Say what you want about the man, but he finds a way to win." Oh man, just John Cena in these big matches. I mean, these big fight matches, these big time money matches. I mean, always continues to find a way to deliver, and he delivers another great performance tonight. I know he gets a lot of flack. I know a lot of the fans say he can't wrestle, but if he can't wrestle, how come he's been carrying us to all these damn good matches over the last several months? I mean, those 3 5-star classic matches with Kevin Owens and Elimination Chamber, Money in the Bank, and Battleground, all of them were fantastic, but Battleground was definitely the best one of the 3, even though all of them were amazing. But nonetheless, though, I definitely agree once again with Michael Bullock's sentiments here. We know it's going to be Seth Rollins against John Cena at SummerSlam, and we also feel that it will be a title-for-title matchup with both the WWE World Heavyweight Championship and the United States Heavyweight Championship will both be decided in this one. And, it'll be very rare. I think it's only going to be, the third time that I recall seeing such a match. Of course, the first time everybody remembers.
WrestleMania 6.
Yes, WrestleMania 6, the Ultimate Challenge, when Hulk Hogan defended the World Wrestling Federation Championship against the Ultimate Warrior and the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship. And it was the Ultimate Warrior who captured both belts. And the Ultimate Warrior, of course, relinquished the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship, and that title was then put up in an 8-man tournament, which the late, great Mr. Perfect, Curt Hennig, went on to win by defeating Tito Santana in an outstanding final, if I'm being quite honest with you. And then from there, of course, like Mr. Bullock mentioned a little bit ago, Triple H and Kane, No Mercy in 2002. Triple H, the World Heavyweight Champion, against Kane, who was the Intercontinental Champion. And it was Triple H who won that. IC title goes away for 7 months, and then they bring it back. Judgment Day, 2003, Charlotte Coliseum, the old one. They put it up in a big battle royal, and it was Christian who went on to win that, last eliminating Booker T to win it. I remember that very vividly. And then, and also on that No Mercy 2002, remember, it was Brock Lesnar. What main evented that event? Brock Lesnar and The Undertaker inside Hell in a Cell for the WWE Championship. A match that was won by Brock Lesnar, which was a damn near 5-star classic. So, yeah. And John Cena, man, I mean, a bloody nose. I mean, it looks like it might, it's definitely a legitimate broken nose. There's no question about it. But you know what? I'm going to be honest with you. I think he'll be fine. I don't think it's anything serious. I hope it's nothing serious. But nonetheless, though, I definitely agree. And Mr. Bullock and I, we pretty much, we're back and forth on this throughout our lengthy chat tonight. But I think ultimately we will see Seth Rollins and John Cena, champion versus champion, title for title, WWE World Heavyweight Championship, United States Heavyweight Championship, winner take all, winner gets both belts, and it'll be very interesting to see how they do that. And of course, this is going to end up being the appetizer, believe it or not, because we all know The Undertaker and Brock Lesnar is going to be the main course. Everybody and their mother knows that. So. But nonetheless, though, they want to make this, Triple H wants this to be the most epic SummerSlam of all time. Book the match exactly as we said it. Book it, make it Rollins versus Cena, put both belts on the line, and then we can have one undisputed champion. Simple as that. So, fight of the night, 3.5 to 4 stars. No ifs, ands, or buts about this one. So with that said, it's time now to move on to our overall review of Monday Night Raw, and I'm going to start it off. No question about this one, folks. I'm going to give it between 7.5 to 8 out of 10. Not as good as last week's show. Last week's show was, the best Raw of the year so far. But don't get me wrong, it was a very good show nonetheless. Of course, the fight of the night, John Cena and Seth Rollins for the United States Heavyweight Championship, 3.5 to 4 stars. Second best fight of the night, you got to give it up for Sasha Banks and Paige, 3 to 3.25 on that. Then you had some other solid matches, Randy Orton and Kevin Owens. That was a solid 2.5 star match. Same can be said for the tag team matchup, the Lucha Dragons against the Los Matadores. That was a solid 2.5 star fight as well. And then throw in a sleeper fight of the night with the Big Show and Dean Ambrose, 2 to 2.25 stars there. And then another 2 to 2.25 star Divas tag team match, Becky Lynch and Charlotte against Nikki Bella and Alicia Fox. All the matches I felt were really good. And then you had that very good promo segment with Bray Wyatt, Luke Harper, and that opening segment with Triple H, Stephanie, Seth Rollins, and John Cena, and all those things I just mentioned were far and away the highlights of the night. For the second week in a row, only 2 real lowlights. Of course, the low light of the night, as far as in-ring is concerned, the Dud Enhancement match with Adrian Neville and Fandango, and then of course the in-ring segment with Rusev, Summer Rae, and Lana. Even though it was a 50-50 segment, half of it was, the first half was terrible, the other half was came off really good, and Lana pretty much saved that segment. Outstanding work from her. That was definitely her best promo work that I've ever seen. So, yeah. So based on all of that, it's a solid 7.5 to 8 out of 10. Um, as far as the card for SummerSlam is concerned, the only thing that is signed, sealed, and delivered in ours, The Undertaker versus Brock Lesnar. That is all. That's it. That's the only match that is confirmed. We all know that's going to be the main event. It's going to get 30 to 35 minutes based on the 4-hour time limit, a 4-hour slot that we're going to have, and it's also going to be, in my opinion, a 5-star classic and another match of the year candidate. Just depends on how it comes out. We got a damn good feel for that.
And could give WrestleMania 31 a run for its money as for pay-per-view of the year.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt. You're absolutely right, Bullock. I 100% agree with you again. But then again, we damn near agree on everything, so that doesn't surprise me. But nonetheless, that's the only match that is official. We fully expect Seth Rollins against John Cena, title for title, WWE Championship, and the United States Heavyweight Championship will both be on the line. There's no question about that. Winner take all, if you will. Expect Cesaro versus Kevin Owens. Expect Randy Orton versus Sheamus. Expect the triple threat match for the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship that we should have had at Battleground. The Rock with Ryback, the Big Show, and The Miz. That's what I think. Although there is reports that Miz could be involved in the Stardust and Adrian Neville thing, as well as the guy from Arrow, Stephen Amell. We'll see how that goes. I also expect a fatal four-way for the tag team titles. Primetime players against the New Day, against the Los Matadores, and the Luchas. And the Divas, I think it's going to be all three Diva factions, Team Bella, Team Paige, and Team Bad. All three members, 3 versus 3 versus 3, elimination style matchup. That's how I start. That's what I think they're going to do with the Divas. And I also expect Dolph Ziggler to go up against Rusev at SummerSlam. Who knows? Maybe something with Lana and Summer Rae. I don't know. We'll see. And Stardust and Adrian Neville, possibly with The Miz and Stephen Amell. Maybe in the pre-show. I don't know. We'll see. But that's how we here. That's how me and Mr. Bullock feel about how we feel the card's going to come together for SummerSlam. We still got a bit of a ways to go. We are, as of now, 26 nights away from SummerSlam exclusively on the WWE Network for the low price of $9.99. Or for all of you old school pay-per-viewers out there who still continue that traditional model, yeah, enjoy shelling out $55 for that thing. So hopefully it'll be a worthy investment.
Idiots.
Yeah, hopefully it's a worthy investment for $54.99. So yeah, that's pretty much everything I have, and that's how I feel. So 7.5 to 8 out of 10. Definitely looking forward to next week's show. So as we continue on the road to what will literally be the biggest party of the summer in more ways than one, SummerSlam. So Michael Bullock, 7.5 to 8 out of 10. Do you agree, or do you have it higher, lower, what?
I agree with you. It's a 7.5 to 8 out of 10. Yeah, I pretty much agree with all the sentiments you touched on the highlights and the lowlights, and yeah, definitely looking forward to next week's Monday Night Raw, and of course, the return of the Beast Incarnate, Brock Lesnar. The question going into that to next week's Raw is, what does Brock Lesnar have in store for us? Only time will tell. 7.5 to 8 out of 10. Another good edition of Monday Night Raw, and all I can say is keep it going, WWE. Especially as this road to SummerSlam continues. So with that being said, let's wrap it up, and I'll start it off with the shout-outs.
Yes, please do.
Of course, we want to thank everyone for listening to us here tonight for another edition of the Wrestling Forum. Of course, shout-outs to all of our tremendous fans and viewers out there who continue to support our shows, whether it's this or Strictly Sports. It doesn't matter. We really appreciate it. We thank you all so very much for tuning in. Of course, shout out to our super fans, Dee Dee Woodson, Kevin Woodson, Matt Ward, and Jason Hixenbaugh. And of course, shout out to all of our friends from our high school days, Al Britterson, Jimmy Alden, Rob Parsons, Eric Carrier, Tom Souza, the First Lady of the Wrestling Forum, Megan Silva, the First Lady of Strictly Sports, Kaiser Butler. Of course, shout out to Derek Ferreira. Couldn't be with us. He's still on his leave of absence from the wrestling forum and Strictly Sports because of his sports blog commitments. Very popular to say the very least. But he has announced he will be back in time for in mid August as we continue the road to SummerSlam. Definitely looking forward to that day. Of course, shout out to Michael Fletcher, who couldn't be with us. Of course, yeah, we definitely miss him on the show. So, of course, and there's one other shout out I gotta do, and I know I didn't do this on Friday night on Strictly Sports, but I'll do it right here. Shout outs to all the athletes from around the world who are competing at the Special Olympics World Games in LA this week. Had a chance to watch the opening ceremonies. Great opening ceremonies on ESPN. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely going to be a fun week out there in LA. And of course, WWE is a proud sponsor of the Special Olympics World Games, and Stephanie McMahon was one of the people in attendance for the opening ceremony. So, shout out to everybody out there, including a couple of athletes from here, a couple of people from Rhode Island who are there. So so that's pretty much gonna do it for me. I'll save the rest of my shout-outs Friday night on Strictly Sports, and we do have that docket. And oh boy, I mean, this MLB trade deadline, it's just got even more interesting with the breaking news that I just found out right now. Yeah, and of course, like I said, I just found out that Troy Tulowitzki, he's going to the Toronto Blue Jays. So we'll definitely get more into that Friday night. So until then, this is the Phenom and the Vice President of the Rhode Island chapter of the Yes Movement, Mike Bullock, saying thank you all so much for listening to us. And of course, you all know the routine. Thumbs up. Talk to you later. Yeah, throw it up Fortune 4 style. Bye for now. And of course, enjoy the rest of your week, everybody. And of course, God bless and be good to each other. And for now, Mike Bullock, so long. Florio, take us home.
Yeah, we'll do, Michael Bullock, and that's definitely big news. Troy Tulowitzki going to the Toronto Blue Jays. Big move for them, no question about that. We'll definitely get into that on Friday night on Strictly Sports. And I even came across another possible trade rumor. Well, it's only a rumor now. There's a possibility that the San Diego Padres might be trading Craig Kimbrell to my Yankees. Can you imagine Craig Kimbrell and Yankee pinstripes, Bullock? Holy crap. That'd be freaking awesome.
I'll tell you this right now. If that does happen, Yankees are winning that division.
Damn right we're going to win that division. Hell yeah, we're going to win it. No doubt about that. And my chances of winning a championship as the only Strictly Sports family member who has yet to taste championship this year. You know, you and Derek with the Super Bowl, they're Bullock with the Patriots, and Fletcher and his Dukies winning the national championship in the tournament. And of course, our friend and insider Matt Ward with his Chicago Blackhawks obviously win the Stanley Cup. And who knows? Could it make the Yankees viable World Series contenders for the first time in forever and a day? I certainly hope so. That would be humongous. If we get him, that puts us over the top, no doubt about it. I agree with you. But we'll get more into that in just a moment. But definitely want to thank you all so very much for tuning in to this late and abbreviated edition of the Wrestling Forum. We appreciate it as always. You are the best fans in the world. Of course, special shout outs to our super fans, Dee Dee Woodson, Kevin Woodson, and the entire Woodson family, the first family of our shows. Of course, the aforementioned Matt Ward, Jason Hicksonbaugh, who celebrated a birthday today. So very happy birthday to Jason Hicksonbaugh from all of us here at the Wrestling Forum and Strictly Sports. We appreciate all of your support and also your insight and also some of your insider reporting. Very good at that. And of course, our other shout outs, Daniel Luttrell from the UK, Megan Silva, whose little daughter just celebrated her birthday as well. Happy birthday to Megan Silva's daughter, Aubrey, who turned 6. So very happy birthday to her from all of us here. And of course, Tyson Butler, special shout out to her. And of course, our crew, Tommy Souza, Eric Carrier, Jimmy Alden, Al Braderson, Rob Parsons. And of course, I normally don't give a shout out to this individual, but I'm going to do it anyway. Lindsay McCormick. She's a huge WWE fan. I've reconnected with her recently last week. We're getting back into the we're back into our usual exchanges. So she was in Chicago, right around the DePaul University area for this big basketball tournament that was on ESPN University, and then she'll be in New York City this weekend for the semifinals and finals. So check that out on ESPN Saturday and Sunday afternoon. Definitely worth your while. And she did some sideline reporting, and she did a fantastic job with that. I can't wait to see her, do her thing one more time. And I'll have more on that on Strictly Sports Friday night. And and of course, Derek Ferreira and Michael Fletcher. Definitely want to give them special shout outs. Not the same without them, but we don't mind holding it down. That's what we do. So we miss you guys, and Derek, of course, with his sports blog, continuing to do some great things with that. And then, of course, Michael Fletcher. Initially, we thought he was going to be on. That's why we waited for him. But then Bullock gave me the word that he was not going to be on. So, damn shame. I don't know if it was work commitments or if it was problems on his end. I don't know. But we're hopeful that he'll be with us Friday night. And speaking of the docket, here is the docket for Friday night on Strictly Sports. We will recap the 2015 Major League Baseball trading deadline, including some of the big trades. For example, Johnny Cueto going to the Kansas City Royals. And as Mr. Bullock just reported, via Michael Fletcher, Troy Tulowitzki going to the Toronto Blue Jays. And, of course, Scotty Kazmir going to the Houston Astros. And, of course, the big trade rumor that I just reported about San Diego possibly trading away Craig Kimbrell to my New York Yankees. I mean, if the Yankees do get Craig Kimbrell, look out. Look out. The Yanks are not only going to win the AL East, but the Yanks are definitely going to be a major threat to the Kansas City Royals as far as the American League is concerned. So in addition to the trade deadline in baseball, we'll also preview the UFC 190 main event. Of course, I mentioned it earlier, Ronda Rousey. She'll be defending her women's title against Beth Correa in Brazil. And then, of course, the Major League Baseball Power Rankings. We certainly cannot forget about that. And more, possibly some more. I don't know. We'll see. But for now, Major League Baseball trading deadline, Rousey, Correa. We'll preview that UFC 190 main event and our Major League Baseball Power Rankings. Will there be shakeups? Will there be changes? Maybe. So, yeah, that's going to put the bow on this edition of the Wrestling Forum. Like I said, we thank you all so very much for tuning in. So that'll do it for us. So until Friday night at 10:30, right back here on this channel. For the Phenom Michael Bullock, this is Ridiculously Over Anthony Floyo saying, the routine, everybody. Thumbs up. Talk to you later. Yeah, throw it up 4 style. Enjoy the rest of your week. Have a great rest of the week, everybody. And until Friday night at 10:30 for another edition of Strictly Sports, you've been watching the Wrestling Forum right here on Zone 25 on YouTube.com. Bye for now, my friends. God bless. Be good to each other. And for now, Anthony Floyo.